Again, I'm Angela Zambanini. I'm a key account manager for Parker Lord. And I've been with Parker Lord for 7 years now, very experienced with a lot of applications relating to service truck. So really looking forward to this presentation and seeing if there are any ways that we can work with you to help you with your manufacturing and some of your pain points. I'm also joined by my wonderful coworker, Steve Webb, who also has a lot of experience in this market. Steve?
Thank you, Angela. So my name's Steve Webb. I've been with Parker Lord for about 22 years now. My function within the company is an application engineer. We help the manufacturers implement, design, and engineer in adhesive solutions for their manufacturing operations. Thank you so much.
So here's a look at what we'll cover today. We'll start by giving you some insight into what your manufacturing and design potential could be when using structural adhesives. We'll continue with an overview of Parker Lord technology for service trucks and the applications in which they're used. Then we'll conclude with design tips for adhesives and the resources available to you when you partner with us. Just some background. For those of you not familiar with Parker Lord, we're a trusted brand who's been supplying the service truck industry with adhesive solutions for over 40 years. More often than not, our technologies and R&D center around transportation because it's where we continue to have success year over year. For over 40 years, we've been partnering with several service truck and specialty vehicle manufacturers to improve overall quality and durability and reduce overall manufacturing time and costs. We understand the strict requirements needed to support service truck fabrication. Our solutions really offer superior environmental resistance and can even insulate against galvanic corrosion. We understand that the needs and resources vary from manufacturer to manufacturer. So today, we'll cover as many applications as we can to give you an idea of what your potential could be when you partner with us. At this time, we're going to launch our first poll question. And what we'd like to know is, why are you looking at adhesives? So why structural adhesives? For many of you, structural adhesives are just an alternative to welding and mechanical fasteners, or even an alternative to sealants and tape. But structural adhesives are not just alternative joining methods. They are high-tech solutions designed to take you beyond the manufacturing capabilities of those traditional methods. Do you find yourself asking questions like, why can't I find welders? Why are welders so expensive? How can I reduce my tack time or costs? Or how can I extend my warranties? If you find yourself asking these types of questions, then structural adhesives could be a fit for you. The value Parker Lord structural adhesives provide doesn't just have to stop at benefiting you and your manufacturing line. The benefits get passed on to your customers as well. As a result of implementing structural adhesives, our customers have been able to give their customers shorter lead times, sleeker and more aesthetically pleasing designs, and even extended warranties through improved quality, durability, and overall strength. We know there are other options for joining an assembly, so we'd like to share some insight into how those other technologies stack up against Lord adhesives based on our experience and years of testing. A common misconception is you have to use one technology or the other, but in our experience, we have found that a combination of joining methods to be very useful, especially in aiding both the speed and ease of your manufacturing process. The first comparison I'll talk about is adhesives versus welding. In our studies, Lord adhesives have proven to be as strong or stronger than a weld. Using adhesives can enable you to join mixed materials together since you can't weld combinations like aluminum and steel together. Adhesives are also less aggressive on coatings and paint, so you don't have to worry about burning them off. By using adhesives in place of welding, you can also eliminate the risk of material deformation, such as warping and burn marks, as well as eliminate post-work like grinding off weld scars. This can significantly decrease your total manufacturing time. Now, you don't have to completely get rid of welders either. Rather, you can maximize them where you really need them. You can also implement welding with adhesives to help speed along your processing time. For example, you can spot weld or tack weld along the seam of two bonded sheets or even door hems, or along the corners of an extrusion. Doing so can help hold your materials together if, say, you're going through a powder coat process, or they can act as temporary fixtures to keep your parts moving while the adhesive cures. Another common joining technology is mechanical fastening. The biggest advantages of adhesives over rivets and other mechanical fasteners are reducing localized stress and leak points. Adhesives also have proven to have a quieter and faster assembling time compared to the loud and long drill process. Furthermore, adhesives have shown to improve overall appearance. In this slide, I included a picture of one of my customers that makes both riveted and bonded trucks. The truck on the left is assembled with rivets, and you can see how deformed the material is by the rippled reflection on the side. On the right is the bonded truck, which allows a nice smooth reflection, indicating no material deformation. Aside from warping parts, rivets can also crimp and deform the material in localized areas and can even rust. And especially in the case of this customer here pictured, the bonded truck is a lot easier for applying graphics. Similar to welding, you can use mechanical fasteners with structural adhesives to speed your manufacturing process and offer added support when going through a powder coat oven. In some cases, our customers have used rivets in select places like corners to reduce the risk of peel in high wind load applications like a corner radius or a corner cap on the bulkhead, such as on a truck or a trailer. Now, I have found tape to be a little less common in the service truck industry, as structural tape can be very, very expensive, and it requires stiffeners to ensure the parts don't bend and flex too much to the point of breaking. With adhesives, you don't have to worry about that. They are both structural and rigid, yet not too rigid as to be able to provide impact resistance in case, God forbid, the bonded area were to become hit or struck by something. Adhesives give you the time to work with them as well, and you can reposition your parts if necessary, which are other reasons why customers consider structural adhesives over tape. Unfortunately, with tape, once you set it down, that's really it. You can't reposition them or start over. With adhesives, you can. Some customers still like to use tape to reduce the amount of squeeze out when using structural adhesives. A common practice is to use more of a lower cost tape to act as a damming material. The lower cost tape acts as a fixture to move the assembly along with the manufacturing process. So the tape pretty much holds the parts together, and then the parts rely on the adhesive for both sealing and strength. The last comparison I'll talk about today is adhesives versus sealants. Sealants are typically used in non-structural applications and are purely used to keep dust, debris, water, and so on out of your joint assembly. Adhesives both bond and seal in one step and without primers and activators. Adhesives provide much shorter clamp times and, like tape, require less stiffeners. In some applications, though, a sealer adhesive hybrid could be beneficial. For example, in areas where you want to hold parts together but don't need as much structural strength or support load. For those applications, we have the 7610 DTM, which is our direct to metal single component sealer adhesive. It effectively seals, but also provides nearly 500 pounds of strength per square inch. In case I just confused some of you, don't worry, it's okay. I was confused at first when I first started learning this stuff too. Even though I just talked about our sealer adhesive hybrid technology, I do want to point out that there is a distinct difference between a structural adhesive and a sealant, or even a non-structural adhesive like super glue or Elmer's craft glue. A structural adhesive is a chemical that cures into a material capable of transferring loads between two substrates in environments that are load bearing. They can achieve 1,000 pounds per square inch of strength when under shear stress. Sealants, on the other hand, or non-structural adhesives, can't transfer loads and are not recommended for load-bearing applications. Typically, they can achieve higher than 1,000 pounds per square inch or 1,000 PSI, and more often they really only get about 200 to 400 PSI. So with the exception of the 7610 DTM, Parker Lord's adhesive product line are all structural adhesives. Now we'd like to launch our second poll question for you, which is, what are you interested in bonding together? What are the substrates that makes you want to use adhesives? So what possibilities do you have with lowered structural adhesives? It helps to understand what materials can be joined together. The most popular substrates we bond together are aluminum and steel, but also other metals like brass and copper. For these applications, we have acrylic structural adhesives. For other substrates like plastics, composites, foam, and painted or primed metal, we have urethane structural adhesives. And for specialty substrates like rubber, ceramic, stone, and concrete, we have epoxies. This makes up our adhesive technology portfolio. So let's take a deeper dive into each chemistry and where you might want to use them. Acrylics are our most popular structural adhesive because they are proven to be superior solutions for bonding metal as well as cross-bonding to metal. They don't require surface prep to achieve a strong bond, so no scuffing, sanding, or priming before using them. They're proven to hold up in harsh environments and can go through powder coat and e-coat bake processes. They're also sandable and paintable, and they can cross-bond to bare metal and painted metal. So in service truck, we have 3 acrylic products that are commonly used for service vehicle or specialty vehicle fabrication. These are the Lord 400 series on the left, MaxLock series in the middle pictured here, and on the right, the Lord 606. The reason I say series is because it's a product family. Both the Lord 400 series and the MaxLock series were developed with 3 different cure speeds. So you have options depending on how slow or fast you need the product to cure. The 400 series is really our go-to acrylic, a strong and proven solution, and it covers most applications involving metal. MaxLock is more of a newer technology than the 400 series and features improved peel and tensile strength, as well as improved heat resistance. The last one, the Lord 606, this product was initially developed for increased bonding on composites like SMC and FRP, but it also cross bonds with metal, and in our studies has been a really good solution for bonding chem-lite in roof applications, which in our experience can be a tricky substrate to bond to. This product can also gap fill up to 1 inch if gap filling were ever needed. At Parker Lord, we never stop innovating, especially in areas where we excel, which is metal bonding. Over the last couple of years, we've released 2 new acrylic adhesives. This is the Lord 810 and the Lord 850 or the 852. The 810 was developed to eliminate read-through, which if you're not familiar with it, read-through is a phenomenon where you can see the footprint of the adhesive show through the backside of ACM or even a thin gauge metal panel like aluminum. It is highly flexible with 190% elongation, and it does great in applications with a wide CTE mismatch between 2 materials. The Lord 850 and 852 is our next generation of acrylic bonding technology. These 2 products are a series or a product family. The 850 is faster and the 852 is slower in terms of cure. These were developed for a dump truck manufacturer, and they feature superior fatigue and temperature resistance, and it's our best cross bonder to date. In our studies, it has shown to bond very, very well to a wide range of substrates. Many of our acrylic products are equipped with glass beads. If you're not familiar with this technology, beads essentially are 10 mils in thickness, and they're suspended evenly throughout the adhesive. Now, the reason they're 10 mils in diameter is 10 mils is our ideal bond thickness. So the glass beads essentially act as spacers and reduce the chance of over clamping. This helps ensure that no matter how hard you clamp, you won't squeeze out all the adhesive you just laid out. In order to have a successful application when using adhesives, you have to have enough adhesive in the joint. If you don't, it'll just result in a failure because there's nothing holding the 2 materials together. Glass bead technology also helps to minimize galvanic corrosion. Galvanic corrosion refers to the corrosive damage that's induced when two dissimilar metals are coupled together, such as aluminum with steel. It occurs when water is introduced into the joint area. So what the glass beads do is they help to separate the two materials, ensuring that they don't touch one another. And the adhesive also acts as a seal to help seal out anything that might get in and induce that corrosion. The next technology I'll talk about is urethane technology. Our urethane structural adhesives are our most flexible adhesives, but they're still rigid enough to be used in load-bearing applications. Lord offers a wide range of cure rates for structural urethanes, as well as lower viscosities, which are helpful in applications that have tighter tolerances. Their higher flexibility or elongation makes them great for impact resistance. They're used on substrates like prime metals, plastics, foam, and composites. Common applications are sidewalls, wind fairings, and roofs for sleeper truck cabs. A word of caution though, urethanes are moisture sensitive, so we don't recommend them for bare metals. And we do caution that when they arrive, they do come in prepackaged bags. So we do recommend that you don't open those until you're ready to use them. We have already discussed the 7610 DTM pictured on the left, but there are two other products I'd like to introduce for bonding to paint, primer, plastics, foam, and composites. These are the 7542 and 7545. These products are very similar. The main difference between them is viscosity. The 7542 has a lower viscosity, which helps if you want to gravity feed the adhesive when using bulk equipment, or if you need the adhesive to fill in tighter tolerances. The 7545 is higher in viscosity and has more of a paste-like consistency. Now these two, just to put it in perspective, these two products, the 7542 and the 7545, depending on the substrates you're bonding, are 3 times as strong as that 7610 DTM. So again, the 7610 DTM, it's more of a sealer adhesive. The 7542 and the 7545, these are our structural urethane adhesives. The final chemistry in our product portfolio is epoxy. Epoxy structural adhesives are very rigid and offer superior strength, temperature resistance, and chemical resistance. They're great on porous substrates like stone and ceramic, along with rubber. They can also cross-bond to bare metal and go through e-coat and high-bake paint processes, just like acrylic adhesives. The 323 Seam Sealer is a non-sag epoxy adhesive used for professional finishes where a longer work time is desired. It withstands powder coat and paint processes after cure. It's also paintable and it can go through high temperature bake processes, and it's visible under UV for easy inspection. The 310 is also a 2-component epoxy. It's commonly used in rubber to metal applications, such as mounting a body onto rubber pads on a chassis. That's everything for our product portfolio. So now that we've given you a taste for the products used in service truck manufacturing, we'd like to show you where they're used. Ultimately, what we want you to do is help you be more competitive and efficient with the resources you have. So hopefully the next few slides help spark some ideas for you. The first type of vehicle we'd like to talk through is a boom or utility truck, because honestly, when most people hear service truck, a utility or boom truck is typically what comes to mind. At least for me, it is. Common applications include bonding doors and door closures, roof bows and roof brackets to an extrusion, and overlapping sidewall panels or stiffeners to sidewall panels. In fact, these are very common applications in general for this market, so you'll see them keep popping up as we move through each different type of service or specialty vehicle in the coming slides. Some unique applications to boom and utility trucks are bonding the boom, shelving brackets, and even diamond plate. Boom truck manufacturers will use the Lord 400 series as well as the Lord Max Lock to bond the buckle on the boom lift. Other customers find it difficult to weld inside shelving units or inside the walk-in parts of the vehicles, so they often bond the shelving brackets instead, and also saved a lot of time while doing so. Now, the final application, diamond plate, it's more of an aesthetic application than it is a functional one, as I'm sure many of you know. This is typically offered as an add-on item because people simply just like the look of it. But it can be challenging to consistently change drawings to account for different bolt holes just to apply the diamond plate on. One of my customers fixed this challenge by binding on the diamond plate to the vehicle, and they did so right after the vehicles came out of the powder coat oven. Not only did this save time and money in the drawing and design stage, but it also saved time on the floor. The vehicles pretty much had to sit at that stage after coming out of the oven anyways, so workers could bond on the diamond plate, fixture it, and then walk away to do something else while the vehicle sat and the adhesive cured. The great thing about lurid adhesives is you don't have to keep them still overnight. In fact, once the handling time is up, the bond and joint has enough strength to be safely moved into the next stage or even final assembly. For some of our products, this can be done in as short as 3 to 5 minutes. Medium-duty service trucks and vehicles such as large parcel, food truck, emergency like ambulance, and command vehicles have nearly identical applications to boom and utility trucks. But some unique applications, though, include HVAC units and even roofs and driver cabs, as well as wind fairings. Fire trucks have some of the most critical applications because they are used and built for very extreme and demanding conditions. Some of our customers bond a majority of the cabs together, primarily the floors and sidewalls. Doors and diamond plate are also fixtured using adhesives, as well as accessories or components that are attached to the truck, such as shelf brackets. Some fire trucks used by airports use fiberglass on the back of the truck or incorporate fiberglass stiffeners. These are also bonded, but primarily for increased strength and rigidity. Our best case studies with fire truck manufacturers involve replacing welding. This has allowed those manufacturers to maximize their welders and use them where they really need them, and then use lower cost labor pretty much for everything else. Cargo, dry freight, and van bodies are essentially large walk-in trucks. Many of the applications for these style trucks include roof extrusions, corner caps or the radius, door closures, floor seams, as well as wall panels. We have been helping manufacturers of this style service truck for over 10 years and have many successful case studies. One case study I'll share is about a customer of mine up in Canada. They had traditionally used a one-part flexible adhesive to bond the sidewalls, but the downside of that adhesive they were using was it required a 2-hour cleaning process plus an activator just to work. And it also required 6 hours to reach handling strength. So the manufacturer really could only make one a day. After a lot of testing, we spec'd in the Lord 810, which is that low read-through flexible acrylic adhesive. This eliminated the cleaning process as well as the activator, and the tack time went from 6 hours to less than 45 minutes, which enabled them to go from making one truck a day to up to 6. Another case study involved the bulkhead or the corner radius, to be more specific. The structural adhesives gave one of my customers the ability to bond this because they can cross-bond hot dip galvanized steel with inline galvanized steel, which is something they couldn't do before without adhesives. Now, the final case study I'll quickly go over is for a dry freight floor. One of my customers bonded the seams instead of welding them, and in doing so, they ended up saving about an hour per 4 linear feet. So a lot of time savings, just to kind of show you what the potential could be in terms of manufacturing, how you could really increase your throughput or decrease overall manufacturing time. The final vehicle we'll discuss today is an armored or military vehicle. The big highlight here is that lurid acrylic adhesives are used to bond on armor. This has been a great testament to our product's strength and durability. Pictured kind of at the bottom, just below the military vehicle, is a worker who's using our MaxLock adhesive to bond the hem on a Humvee door. MaxLock is used because a little extra strength and temperature resistance were needed for this specific application. We also bond side panels, hoods, and roofs, but armor and doors are our most popular applications for this type of vehicle. At this time, we're going to launch our final poll question. Now that we've gone through some of the applications, what are your most common applications? Now that you know our technology and potential applications, let's talk about how to design for structural adhesives. When designing for adhesives, you really want to make sure you first ensure you have enough surface area. Adhesives like surface area. The more that you have, the stronger your bond joint will be. So no butt joints, unfortunately. You also want to design for shear and compression, as peel stress is extremely aggressive on adhesives. Here's an example of implementing adhesives in a wall joint that was previously riveted. A different example is this one here, where you can use a corner key instead of welding in the corners. Again, making sure that you're not doing any butt joints, but really adding things to give you a lot of surface area to ensure that the adhesive is going to be successful. Now, surface prep is important, something that you want to make sure that you keep in mind. When using adhesives, you always want to make sure that your parts are clean. At minimum, we recommend a dry rag wipe, but we prefer you to use a solvent wipe like IPA. In some cases, though, you may want to scuff, or you may need to scuff, but it's best to just check with us first. You're always welcome to call our hotline or call our regional managers or our tech application engineers, such as Steve Webb, if you ever need help in that area. In service truck fabrication, many teams get creative with fixturing since the parts can be large or unique. Here are some examples of fixtures customers have used in the past. One example, we used a wood bar and grips through an open door to secure diamond plate, which was a pretty interesting solution to try and think through. Some customers have even used large magnets as well. So to conclude this presentation, we'll share with you some of the resources we have to offer, because what we want you to know is that you don't ever have to feel like you have to do this completely on your own. We're happy to partner with you, happy to help you, and make sure that your applications are successful. So Parker Lord is a very unique company. Something that you get with us that you don't often find elsewhere is a plethora of resources. And I want to encourage you to use all of them. We have customer support, as well as a hotline that you can call during regular business hours for application assistance. They aren't robots, so when you call in, they're real people, and you don't have to go through a long line of people just to reach them. We have a great network of experienced distributor reps as well, and you're welcome to reach out to any one of them or any one of our Lord regional managers, such as me, for assistance too. Now, if you want to try any of the adhesives that we discussed today, we do offer on-site trials as well as sampling programs. So the trials really can be designed as hands-on workshops that give you the chance to try a variety of Lord products for free. And you get live application assistance in your shop, and you can even get some feedback in areas that you're evaluating. This has been a really, really great tool for many of my customers. If you'd like to schedule one of those today, please make sure that you respond to the follow-up email we will send, or you can reach out to me or your preferred distributor rep to schedule a trial or request samples. Now, we understand that in-person visits may be challenging during this time, so if you'd like us to bond parts for you instead, we can certainly do that. We have fully equipped labs in Erie, Pennsylvania, Cary, North Carolina, and Wixom, Michigan, who can all surface treat and bond parts as well as test them to your necessary spec requirements. Again, if this is something that you're interested in, please make sure to reach out to me or to Steve Webb or respond to the follow-up email. If you'd like more information, please visit us at www.lord.com for literature, how-to videos, and much more. In addition to our website, you can follow us on social media, or you can call our hotline 1-877-ASK-LORD to talk to our tech service team. That wraps up my presentation for today. Are there any questions from our audience?